music and stuff like that, and she had released some songs and stuff like that. So the first thing I did with this artist is I googled them, and I couldn't find any kind of entity of that artist. Like, there was kind of like, they might have a song here and there, but they didn't really have that social proof that a lot of people want to see when they're going to promote or when they're looking for an artist. Now, just like when you Google the Corporate Thief beats, and if you're looking at the screen right ahead of you, you will see what's commonly known as the knowledge graph. Now, this is where Google recognizes you as an entity online. And this is a great way to siphon authority from reputable sources. Now, other artists do this as well, like tons of artists do it when they're on the way up, and they kind of get featured on X blog and hip hop blog, this and that. And over time, those features kind of build up their authority within their fans or from their fan base. So they kind of view them as a fan or as an entity already. And just like when you Google, if you're not that familiar with the Corporate Thief beats, if this is the first or one of the first times you've been introduced to the Corporate Thief beats, more often than not, you would have probably Googled the Corporate Thief beats and found the knowledge graph coming up on the left-hand or the right-hand side of Google. Now, I like this because it's social proof, and social proof is kind of where you have built up this authority by establishing yourself with other authoritative sources. So Google is one of the biggest authoritative sources online. If Google recognizes the Corporate Thief beats as an entity, more often than not, a lot more artists will take the Corporate Thief beats seriously, and they just don't think I'm just a fly-by-the-night beat maker with just a few beats on a couple of beat sites. Now, you can take advantage of the authority that Google gives too. And all you have to do is distribute your music through a reputable distribution service. I use Distro Kid. I am an affiliate for Distro Kid. If you want to use my link and go through and distribute your music that way, I really appreciate it. But you can use any of them. There's a number of them. There's TuneCore, there's CD Baby. All of these will distribute your music online to reputable distribution sites like Deezer, Google Music, YouTube Play, or Apple Beats, and all the iTunes, all of those kind of streaming services. And once your music's on there, Google identifies all of them as entities, just the way they do with social media sites as well. And when it grabs all the information from those sites, more often I think Google Play kind of triggers the knowledge graph. Your artist's knowledge graph should come up within a month or two. Now, you can increase the likelihood of it by distributing your music through certain channels like press releases and submitting your stuff to certain music sites. There's a number of gigs on Fiverr that will do press releases or distribution to music blogs and stuff like that. That will kind of help it along. But I'm confident in just releasing it through a reputable source like DistroKid, which I did to get this knowledge graph. So this will help you make create social proof for when you're building your empire, when you're building your kind of your entity online. And majority of hip hop artists on the way up have this kind of knowledge graph, and it might be more difficult for the up-and-coming artists to get recognition on like really big hip-hop blogs. It takes time to kind of get that recognition, but this is a good way to start when you're building a fan base, is to just release your music through a proper distribution site and get this Google knowledge graph. Now, I've already claimed mine. What usually you can see I'm actually using mine within Google to kind of help provide Google with information about what I am and what I've done. I've actually changed that from, it was like artists, it was just musician or something like that, and I changed it to record producer because it was more what I am. And you get all the ideas within in the background of it as well. You can put in what genre you are, and it'll pull information from the albums that you've released. So it's really important when you are releasing your mixtapes or your albums and stuff that you do label it and all. And when you do get the knowledge graph, you might see a little thing underneath here. It might be around here where it says claim your knowledge graph. It'll tell you to submit some information, like a passport photo or something like that, and you can claim your knowledge graph. And then it will give you the little kind of like Twitter kind of background areas where I have as well, and it will let you edit, and you can find what's more suited to you. So if it's sometimes, let's say a hip hop artist, it might come up and it might say pop musician, and you're not a pop musician, you might be a singer-songwriter, not a rapper, things like that. You can edit, you can put in a logo, things like that, or you could have a little picture there. Some artists prefer a picture. I think that's probably a better idea. Most people probably notice my little corporate thief logo, and I usually put that in here. And you can post updates here as well. I use it to kind of really push my music and everything, my blog posts, everything through this, because it gives you the idea of keywords and stuff like that. So, and it helps promote my blog and everything like that, and helps index any of my content. So that's a little SEO trick. It's not what I was trying to portray in this, but I've kind of spilt more beans than I should in this one video. But then again, that's extra value in that video, and it's just pretty simple in the back end. But I just wanted to show you the knowledge graph and kind of just highlight the idea of social proof more than anything. And this is a great way to get social proof when you're starting off. There's links in the description of this video that will help you sign up with Distro Kid if you haven't distributed an album yet. If your knowledge graph hasn't come up yet, there is other ideas as well, and I'll put them in there, where you can get press releases to kind of boost your entity within the eyes of Google. And there's another strategy as well, where you build up syndication networks with a number of social media sites using the same entity title in every social media. So if you're signing up with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all of those entities, the majority of the big entities always keep the same title. So like if you go across the board, there's going to be the Corporate Thief on most of them. I think one of them I'm called The Corporate Thief Beats, and others I'm called Corporate Thief Beats. But I think it's better to kind of keep the entity the same. And the more easy you make it for Google, the more likely it's going to trigger the knowledge graph. As you can see, I've filled in my social media sites, proving to Google that I'm an entity online, and it just looks really good. A lot of people might just find one video from the Corporate Thief Beats online, and now they will go Google and see, whoa, this guy seems legit. He's got that knowledge graph on the side, which is a great social proof, and it helps people spend money with the Corporate Thief Beats. Now you can see the value in videos like this. If you want more videos